What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's happening with NIO, Tesla, SPY, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's going on with the economic calendar moving forward, what's happening with other factors in the markets, what you should be watching for as time progresses. But before I break down this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. Anyways, now let's break down what's happening to NIO. NIO is up 7.5% for today, as we're still getting another continuation of the rally since yesterday. And that's because NIO had very, very strong deliveries numbers. And there's a lot of hype right now about the new developments that are coming out. So very, very great news, at least for them moving forward. NIO is also trying to hold up above its 200 EMA. If we hold this, we're going to continue to push into the fives, and we're going to be looking for another continuation of the rally. Now, the whole market's been pushing up quite a bit, especially Tesla. Tesla's been absolutely on fire, and this does open the open the doors for more upside, at least for its counterparts for other EVs. That's very, very awesome to see. The question is, what's happening with NIO? I want to talk about a couple of things and then talk about the market for the week, because we have a very, very interesting week. So the Chinese EV companies have come out, and many of them had very, very nice looking reports, especially NIO. It's still getting a lot of headlines, still getting lots of attention. And there's also some news coming out right here as they hit a record deliveries, at least for the month of June, at 21,000, up 60% so far. And then on top of that, they're also up about 98% year over year, which is very, very bullish, absolutely crushing their expectations. I also want to call out some new headlines that came out just like right now about NIO. You guys can see right here that in Germany, they launched their 17th power swap station. It's once again connected to a road network, and it's actually offering fast routes to Munich. So very, very awesome news for them. They're continuing to grow in Europe. More and more good news keeps on coming out. Now, for the week, let me just call out a couple of things before I break down the charts. Please remember, the market closed early today. I did give you guys a warning about that yesterday. All the data that came out was not that great. ISM data was not that great, in my opinion. But despite that, the market managed to just hold up very well. It's still very resilient. And that wasn't really enough to get the market to dip. The market actually continued to pump anyways. So that's quite fine. One of the things that I looked at was the fact that prices actually still kind of dipped a little bit. So that is good for disinflation. But besides that, everything else was still kind of lackluster. Now, for other factors, let me just remind everyone that for tomorrow, it's going to be the 4th of July here in the US. It's Independence Day, so the stock market is going to be closed. We're not going to have NIO trading the US market, so I'm not going to really make a video. But just know we'll be back to normal on Friday, and Friday is when we have some very important unemployment numbers coming out. So please keep that in the back of your mind. That's going to be very, very important. All right, so we have big data coming out for Friday. Can't wait to see how things end up going. Now, for other factors, I just want to remind everyone that we have the fear and greed index currently at fear. Fear is now starting to make up sense as the market pushes higher, and momentum is still very, very greedy. The reason why it's greedy is because of the fact that we're still well above our 125 daily moving average, which is still quite good, and we're still seeing a lot of buyers stepping in. On top of this, the puts and call option positioning is still extremely greedy, as we're seeing buyers stepping in, closing puts, and it's still favoring the bulls. Volatility for the market's also quite neutral in the middle, not really doing anything too significant, as the VIX is remaining lackluster. Now, two more things. I just want to note that NIO is getting good volume, almost double what we typically get at 72 million. And we tend to see a nice increase, at least in these changes. We're also starting to see short volume decreasing, which is a good sign. And Bank of America Securities maintains a neutral rating for NIO. The price price ratio is going up a bit as we're seeing some strength being built. And just know that Fridays tend to be green about 53% of the time, so that's a good sign. And July historically is a strong month, 53% of the time for NIO we're green. So we'll see how things go at least for this month. But so far, we're off to a very, very good start. So what do I see for the markets? Honestly, guys, NIO has more upside potential depending on if we could hold our 200 EMA. I think it's going to dip a bit and retest 4.79. If we bounce off that, we're going to continue higher. We could be looking for this thing to push into the fives. If we lose that support, we're going to be dipping all the way down to about 4.6 again. So watch 4.79. It's going to be a very, very critical support. We'll see if we bounce or not. I think it's going to dip a bit, and then we'll see if we get that bounce. If we get that bounce, we're going to continue higher. Technically speaking, this does look more bullish. It looks like it's going to dip and then try to bounce higher. And we still have this imbalance up here to fill towards 5.35. My guts tells me there's more upside potential. Now for SPY, we've broken the all-time high and closed above it, forming kind of like a cup and handle. And this is looking very bullish heading into Friday. I think there's a good chance this continues higher to retest 552. That's kind of like one of the levels I had right here. And if that breaks, I'll be looking at this to slowly approach 554 and 555. Those are going to be two levels worth watching, new all-time highs, at least for SPY. Once again, looking very, very bullish. So SPY is very, very bullish, continuing to break out. I see more upside potential. I think 552 will be tested and a nice breakout will continue. For the QQQ, we had a cup and handle breakout right here. You guys can see we had this cup right here, then the handle, and now we're just continuing to push. So this looks very bullish. I think that 492 is likely coming. And if that breaks, I think 494 will be next on the cards. So we're still looking very, very bullish. On top of this, we also have Nvda breaking out of this flag, looking a little bit more bullish. We had this flag right here. We got to close above 127, which is a big sign. As long as we hold this, I think 130 plus is coming. Got a bullish bull flag breakout, so I think 130 plus is on the table. For Bitcoin, Bitcoin has been dipping quite a bit. We actually failed to hold the 60,000 area, so we might be seeing some money kind of leaving crypto for now, kind of rotating a bit. Bitcoin could dip a little bit lower. I'm going to be looking at the support around 59,250. We'll see if we bounce off that. So look for a little bit more of a dip before it tries to bounce. For Aapl, we're looking very bullish right now. We've actually broken past resistance at 220. I was watching 222.5 and eventually 224. So Aapl is looking bullish heading into Friday. Overall, there's no sign of this rejecting or kind of collapsing. Supermicro is also pushing nicely. If we break past 844, I'll be looking for 860 plus. Still looks bullish to me, so I'm hoping that we get a continuation higher. I'm going to be watching to see if this range right here. I'm also going to be looking at this level right here. Let me just draw an extended line to show you. So we have some resistance right here as well. We'll see if Supermicro could try to break this. If we break this, we will turn back to bullish and start pushing up higher. If it rejects, you're going to be coming back down. So look for a big test on the stock. And for just a couple more, I'll be very quick with this. Coinbase is looking kind of lackluster. We're going to be testing this trend line of support. If we break through this, we turn bearish. I could be looking for 220 or below that. If we hold this, we're going to look for a rebound back up to about 228. So I'll be watching for that. Amazon has a bearish divergence. It's looking a little bit weak, but we're gonna be watching this 196 area. If we lose that, we start dipping down to 192. If we hold this, we try to bounce. So look for a little bit of a dip and then possibly a bounce afterwards. For Meta hit this 520 kind of rejected, made a lower high at this 511 zone. I'll be watching 508 and 505 as supports. Could dip a bit before it tries to bounce again, but look for a little bit of a dip. I think 508 is going to come, maybe even 505 before it tries to bounce. Might dip it a little bit, then try to continue. Microsoft is still bullish. I'm going to be looking at 460's resistance. Just know it's a very tough resistance. We'll see if we break this or not. If it breaks, look at 462. That's looking pretty good. Google wants to go up to about 188. It looks more bullish to me. So I think it might dip a bit, then try to continue a little higher as we're seeing some momentum building. GameStop also made attempt to go up to about 24.8. We'll see if we break resistance or not. So I do anticipate some upside. Simultaneously with AMC, we're dipping a bit, so watch 4.98. If this fails, let's look at 4.88 and see if we bounce. Look for a little dip on AMC and we'll see if we get a bounce or not. Anyways, that is it for my video. I want to thank you all so much for listening. As far as NIO goes, technicals look more bullish, but look for a little bit of a dip first. We might dip a little bit before we try to bounce and go higher. So look for a big test at the 200 EMA at 4.79. Then we'll have to see how things go from there. With that being said, I want to say I really appreciate every single one of you guys for listening. Please have a great weekend. Tomorrow is the 4th of July, so please have a very, very happy 4th of July weekend, and I will most definitely see you guys in the next one. Thank you for listening, and peace out.